Hello good people of the internet, it is I, Tommy Kelly. This is Adventures in Woo-Woo, and this is another one of the monthly 47s, one card divinations that I do for the good people over on Patreon. This is going to be in two parts because there's a number of questions, and I was going to do it all in one part tomorrow, but I decided to do half it today to give myself some free time to appear on a podcast that you'll find all about soon. So, let's just get straight into this, no messing, no faffing about. Cards. Divinations. Simon, what should I focus on to remove fear? The monk. So, what should I focus on to remove fear? Simplifying things, making things as simple as possible, retreating from, say, like the rat race, or retreating from, in a sense, from the world, from the out there, and bringing it back a bit more to yourself. Have a place like a sanctuary where you can kind of go back into, where you can relax, but somewhere it's just for you, or where you feel safe. Create a place where you feel safe, so that you always have that to go back to. And that could be a physical place, that could be a mental place, an emotional place, whatever it is. But it's the idea of simplifying, keeping things easy, decluttering, get rid of all unneeded influences or material things or emotions or whatever it is as best you can. Simplify and find somewhere that you can retreat to and have a sanctuary and somewhere that is safe that you can always go back to. Eric. What is the best way to get to know myself? The levitator. By looking at yourself from a different perspective, to try and see what would it be like if you were describing some other person, but this other person is you. So you say you were describing a friend of yours to an acquaintance at work. Try to describe yourself in that way. Try to look at yourself from someone else's vantage point. Or think of things like the good kind of ideas and the paradigm shifting of chaos magic is how would a farmer from 300 years ago look at you now? Think of how your mother would look at you, how your cousin, how your work people, the people you interact with, your friends. Try and think from their perspective how they would look at you and what they think of you. And of course, all of these things are going to be false in a sense because it's going to be just tinged by their or by your perceived kind of feelings of what they would have towards you. But it might just open up a vista or a new kind of way of looking at yourself than trying to always kind of come at it from the eye, from the center, me looking out. Try and have a chance of out looking in and see if that makes any difference. Shiva. What should I focus on this month? The dancer. So this would be just going with it. Just whatever happens, happens. Try not to get too annoyed if things go wrong. Try not to get too excited if things are going right. Just go with whatever it is. Go with the flow. If there's hardships, there's hardships. If there's happiness, there's happiness. But try not to let any of the thing kind of affect your overall kind of balance or whatever, so that you're not relying on the happiness to be happy. You're not trying to avoid the darkness, to stay in the light. All of these things. But sometimes a dancer can, represent something bad and that you just have to go with it. But oftentimes, it's just that life. You just have to go with life. Take it as it is and accept it as it is. So your question, what should I focus on, would be just to let life be what it is and try not to make it anything different from that. Alex, how can I deal with my anger? The opposer. Interesting. So the opposer, so I suppose one way of looking at it is you can kind of see that whenever it arises and you see it as the opposition, but you also become the opposition to it. So you oppose the opposer. And if you can accept the opposer and accept that this is what it kind of a thing is, you kind of stop it from separating from you. So if you can kind of see yourself as being the oppositional, seeing the anger as yourself rather than something that you have to remove, but seeing it as something that is manifesting, something that's coming out. Yeah, there's just kind of notion that it is an oppositional force. I'm not really sure, and I don't want to be giving you too much advice from a one-card reading, because the whole thing with anger, there's a lot in it, and you could be justified in your anger. It could be something that you're angry about that you don't know. You don't even know you're angry about, that's buried deep in the subconscious. So there's something around it being an oppositional force, or you needing to be an oppositional force to your anger. And I will leave it to you to work out, because I could verge very quickly into pop psychology and do more harm than good on that. But that's the advice from the servants anyway. And I'm going to take my glasses off because it's quite steamy in here and they're fogging up. For some reason, oh, I know this is because I have the light on. It's not because Ireland is warm in any way. Dougie, what advice do you have in relation to the issues of errors and unprofessionalism in the university course I am taking? It's making me unusually angry. Well, that's no fun. The contemplator. So this is kind of, in a sense, I suppose, to let it go to one side for a minute, not let it cloud everything else, not let it become the thing that's all pervasive, that's there in front of you, that it's seeing everything through. It's put it to one side. It's like that old thing of trying to solve a problem with a different part of your brain. So what you do is you distract it. So if you're trying to remember an actor's name, rather than kind of think it, you just think of something else, and eventually the name will just pop into your head. So it's a bit like that, in that it's saying that, not that it'll solve it, but you're not sitting around thinking about it and trying to be rational about it and what to do about it and all that. It's probably not going to solve it. So just let it be for the minute and see what comes to you. That's the advice. Sarah, what should I focus my energy on this month? The opposer, making a second appearance. Things that are opposing you in your life. And it's not just necessarily with the opposer. Might necessarily just be people. It can be like, laws, it can be societal structures, it can be rules that are set in place, but it's also always something from an outside point of view that's stopping you. It's not like the devil card, which would be, self-restriction. So have a look at where you're being opposed. What should I focus my energy on? Or where you can be an opposer, where you need to be an opposer. Just have a look at where the oppositional energy is from flowing and, fighting against in your life, and have a focus on that and see. And a card is dropped as I said this, so it's the media, which then would suggest it in how oppositional energy is being, how you are being seen, what it's making people feel about you, or how they're treating you, or in some sort of your public image around it. Whether that's you being oppositional or not being oppositional enough, but it's something to do, it seems, around how people see you. Interesting. George, what energy should I focus on this month? The Explorer. So the Explorer is about moving into new areas, but not physically. It's not about going on roller coasters or stuff like that, or mountain climbing. That would be the adventure. So it's about moving into more mental or emotional new areas. So learning about a new topic, or if you were just, briefly touched on meditation and get into, a whole different kind of area of meditation, or whatever it is, listen to a different type of music, but it's some sort of exploration internally, consciously, in mind. It's widening your horizons mentally, emotionally, structurally, rather than physically out in the world. So that's what you should focus on. Expansion, learning things, or not necessarily learning things, that would, I suppose, come under the librarian, but more getting out of your intellectual or consciousness comfort zones. Philip, what are the obstacles for this month? The giver. So the giver is like, obviously you're getting stuff or things giving you, but there's also this reciprocal relationship where once you give something to someone, there's an obligation of them to give you something back. Like if someone gives you a birthday present, there's an obligation that you have to give them something on their birthday. So it's a relationship transactional. So an obstacle this month would be some sort of breakdown, I suppose, within that giving and receiving dynamic in some way, whether that's from you or from other people, but that would be the obstacle, that isn't behaving in the way it should be, or someone's not keeping up their end of the bargain. Coco, my birthday on the 16th, I would like to ask, what do I need to work on in my life in the coming year? Happy birthday. The media, how you present yourself, how you're being seen, how, what people make of you, how you're putting your good self forward, how if you're doing like art, creativity, or have a business, how that's been presented to the world. It's a lot about how people view you. Are you trustworthy? Are you exciting? Are you reliable? Are you generous? Whatever it is, how people see it. If it's a company or a brand you're setting up, is it something that people want? What would people's thoughts be around it? So, what's your exact question? What do I need to work on in my life? Work on your PR, work on your social outlets, your social skills, I suppose, in some ways, but your PR, your public relations, and how you're viewed and how you'd like to be viewed. Vince, how can I be of service to others this month? The I. The I is, of course, that everything is as it should be, that things are the way they are, and that's exactly how they should, how it's meant to be. It's like that. But that doesn't seem something I need to unwrap with this. I suppose in one way there's this kind of sense about it being something solid, being something that people can rely on. That if you're going to help people, then be the symbol of everything is as it should be. Everything is good. Everything is going well. Even, like that. It's like something about being like the solid rock or the anchor point for people, if that's possible. That feels something around that, but it's a bit vague. Something about you being the I will be a benefit to other people. Michelle, I had a dream. Any insight into what it means or what it meant? The media and the opposal coming up a lot. What does it mean? It's a reflection of how you see yourself, or how you feel you're being seen, or how you're presenting yourself, or how you're expressing yourself. It's about how you are putting yourself out, what you're kind of emanating. So it's a reflection of you and who you think you are. It'd be interesting to hear what the dream is about, if you would like to share. Kat, will we find a place we will successfully buy this month? So we're looking at a yes or no. The opposer, that would assume no, in that there's something that is opposing that happening, which could be many things, I suppose, from buying a house. But as a strict yes or no, that would say no, which would be interesting. So don't make that a prophecy. See that rather than it being a yes or no, see that the reason this isn't happening is there's some sort of oppositional force. And if you can counter that oppositional force, then it will turn it into a yes. As I put cards all over the place. Okay, first card I see is the Fortunate. So that would assume that so what I would assume that there's but the second card I see is the Desperate, which is the opposite card. So I suppose it's saying that the oppositional force is in your hands, whether you are able to turn it into good fortune or turn it into a negative. It's up to you. Benny, what direction should I take my magical practice this month? The Fixer. So doing the thing, in a sense, paying the price, putting the effort in, whatever it is, rather than thinking about it, actually do your daily practice, actually do the magic, do the meditation, do all of this stuff, pay the price. It doesn't necessarily mean, like the bad stuff or whatever, like that, that if you do magic, something bad's going to happen. It's not what it means. Certainly not in this case. It's more about putting the work in. You can get what you want, you can get the magic results you want, but you have to do the magic. You have to learn it, you have to study up on it, you have to do all of that stuff, you have to do all the prep work, all of that kind of thing. So actually doing that, putting the work in, that's the direction. Chris, what will help me find clarity this month? Second guessing myself and anxiety have made it hard to find a direction to move in spiritually. Okay. What will help me find clarity? Oh, and a card jumping. The Gatekeeper. Very active this week, jumping all over the place. So The gatekeeper would mean something needs to be unlocked. Help find clarity. So there's a key to this. There is something that will help you unlock it, that you have to find or look for, or that will present itself. What will help me find clarity? A key, is someone who can, I suppose, the gatekeeper, someone who can open that for you. So maybe talking to someone, someone who would have the ability to be able to show you or help you with clarity, or a situation that you will become in. It's something about something either is going to happen or you have to seek out, which is the key, literally, to you finding clarity. And that would probably make more sense as it goes on, rather than from my vantage point right now. So finding the key, whatever this key is. That seems very vague, Chris. I'm very sorry. Grayson, what should I be focusing on this month? Thinking, the thinker. Looking at things rationally, not woo-woo-y. Looking at them as they actually are. Write them down as a list, positive, negatives. And then go, actually go with it, rather than not a gut feeling, not with how you want it to be, not how you would like it, how you envision it, how it actually is. What is the rational? Approach everything from a rational point of view. Does it look good on paper? Does it make sense? Is it going to make sense today, this week, next year? All of those kind of things, rather than feeling, hoping, sensing, wooing. Okay, I think this will be the last one for this video, and we'll do the rest in another video. Saphira, what servant should I work with this month? 2, Saphira. The witch and the protester. So, using magic to fight the good fight, and put up whatever it is you feel that you need to speak up about, or oppose, or give out about, or speak your own truth magically. There's a magic kind of standing up for yourself magically. Fighting the good fight magically. Attacking your problems from a magical point of view. Using magic to destroy those wicked problems. So, good people of the internet, and good people of Patreon in particular, for doing this with me. We will do another video. It'll be out soon. And for the audio only people, if you got this far, I've been putting up a lot of shorts and stuff on YouTube and TikTok and Facebook and stuff like that. So they're not going onto the main feed because they're part of the greater, there are already other videos of the long form stuff. So if you want to check them out, people are really responding way better to the shorter videos than the longer videos, which is interesting. So I might concentrate on them for a while. So I don't know what way the audio only will go for a while, but we'll see. Just anyway, saying it as it came into my head. So good people of the internet, if you want to help me out, there's a list of loads of things where you can do so in the description down below, and I would really appreciate it. But talk to you soon in another video, which will be out in a day or two. Be well, and may our best days be ahead.